Are the expectations of the highly sensitive person too high? Why get your hopes up only to endure the inevitable disappointment? Bongbini, or welcome back to the Highly Sensitive Person Safe Space. Let's check in on our expectations. How does it affect the highly sensitive person when we get our expectations crushed? And how can we avoid the disappointment, not only in others, but also in ourselves? HSPs often have high perfectionism tendencies. We are meticulous about our own behaviors and accomplishments, but we also have high expectations of others. We tend to expect the same amount or quality that we give in return. Is our attention to detail so meticulous that we expect others to notice the same subtleties and cues? And is this reasonable? I know for me it often leads to disappointment. When we have anticipations about people, events, and situations like how your wedding day is supposed to go, or your presentation at work, or your partner bringing you breakfast in bed for your birthday, or how you expect someone to respond to a message, or listen to you intently when you're pouring your heart out. It's logical that we will be disappointed because life isn't perfect and things rarely go according to plan. High expectations and perfectionism certainly have their place, and they can be valuable assets. But it's good to know when good enough is, well, enough. With my wood art, for example, if I would be too much of a perfectionist about the details, then there's no way I would get compensated for the amount of time that I would pour into each piece. And it's not like the quality suffers, because usually I'm the only one who notices that it could have been just a little bit more perfect, but the customer appreciates it just the same. So the trick is to figure out when it's helpful to go the extra mile and when to call it a day. Even with my YouTube videos, sometimes I really don't like the way the lighting turned out, for example, and I'd rather go back and reshoot the whole thing. But then I remind myself that the message is more important than the quality of the video, and so long as the quality is good enough, then it's acceptable and I will do better the next time. It's all a learning experience. But what about expectations in our relationships? Striving to be your best self is of course not a bad thing, but I strongly believe that there should also be room for failure. Because we don't want to disappoint others, we often prevent ourselves from growth or opportunities out of fear of failure or judgment. When it comes to emotions, and this isn't just an HSP thing, it's also just a human thing. But like everything to do with emotions, it does affect the HSP more deeply. So while we might be good at delivering criticism, for example, we're not so great at receiving it without feeling like we're being judged negatively. And we can ruminate on painful criticism for days, if not years. I don't know about you, but I can be bluntly honest when someone asks me for my honest criticism. But when they return the favor, they have to be very delicate in their delivery, or I will feel offended, even when I know they meant well. When our perfectionist nature causes us to avoid things that we might fail at, just to avoid criticism, then we're definitely shorting ourselves. Running from critique will definitely not help your personal growth. If you feel like you're in a safe space, try exposing yourself to criticism from loving friends and ask them to deliver it thoughtfully. You don't always have to agree with what they say, but sometimes it's just the thing we need to hear because we can get stuck in our own growth. And it's an outsider who can see things more clearly or objectively. I sometimes hear the advice to judge yourself as kindly as you would judge another. So if you're the kind who is harder on yourself than everyone else, then this might be worth a try. But for me, that's not necessarily true. I can be just as hard on others as I am on myself. So what I try to work on is to give others as well as myself a little more grace. And it's important to realize that no one can be your everything, meaning that we cannot expect someone to be Superman or Superwoman. People will thrive in one area and be lacking in another. And if we can embrace that, we can be a lot less anxious about our interpersonal relationships. It's only when I notice that someone isn't even trying at all that I lose my patience and find myself bestowing judgment. Still, it's not up to me to judge. Everyone should be honored for where they are in life, but knowing which people to keep close and which are better off at arm's length can be a good solution to avoid the inevitable disappointment of those who you know do not match your level of devotion. Sometimes I feel I'm just too uptight about everything. I look around me and I see that the majority of people are totally chill about the potential outcome of things, while I'm a bundle of nerves. Take a chill pill, they would say. I encourage you to ask someone with a more nonchalant attitude why they aren't more concerned about a particular turnout. The answer might just enlighten you and inspire a more free-spirited way of thinking about things, if you can accept their version of reality. Our brain is a malleable organ, and we can retrain it to think differently, to an extent. Of course, this will take time and commitment, but isn't that what life is all about? Constant growth. Everyone has their own unique, beautiful flaws. And what would the world be if we were all just perfect? So let's embrace imperfections in ourselves and our fellows, so we can manage our expectations and live with a little bit more grace. I'll leave you with these questions. When you do things for someone, do you expect something in return? And is it really fair to expect something from someone when they haven't promised you anything? I hope you gained some perspective from this video. Feel free to drop a comment to share your wisdom as well, and I wish you an expectation-free day. So long as we keep trying, we can grow. Opportunities of growth. From growth are opportunities. So let's embrace. Was that so hard?